Tales of horror that will give you the creeps.
This is going to be extremely painful, Mr. Verrill.
The most fun you'll ever have being scared. Creepshow. Rated R.
Now playing at a theater near you.
What, if anything, do you think this movie was trying to say?
You know, it's funny because I watched it 40 years ago and I didn't really pick up on subtle nuances back then. That's something that came later, but I've watched the movie many times over the years. And I watched it again recently just for the purposes of this show. And the thing that keeps coming back to me is the overall message from this movie is it's the humans, the people, that are the monsters. Yes, the monsters themselves are bad, but they're monsters. What do you expect? But the humans, they're the ones you got to watch out for. Let's start with the bookend. That opening sequence where Billy begs his father for clemency and he doesn't get it. The father storms out and he looks out the window. It's like that song, Don't Fear the Reaper. Who's there waiting to comfort them? Who's there waiting to help them? It's the creep master. It's the crypt keeper. And he's like, don't worry, Billy. I'll share more horror stories with you. I'll find a way to protect you from your father. Don't be afraid of me. Be afraid of the abusive dad you got. So that's one. In Father's Day, yeah, the father's not a good guy, but the real ghouls aren't the flesh-eating zombie. The real ghouls are the hideous family that's waiting for him to die so they can live off the rest of his fortune. And they make no secret of that.
No.
Tide you over? The real villain is the vengeful ex-husband, or soon-to-be ex-husband, cuckolded husband.
Yes.
In the crate, you got a twofer. You got the horrible, vicious, obnoxious wife, but then rather than just simply divorce her and go on with his life, what does he do? Well, spoiler alert. Now the monster is just all he wants to do is go back under the stairs where he can be left alone, like he was since 1835. He doesn't want to hurt anybody. People just keep bothering him. He's like, this is how monsters say, leave me alone. What the husband has to arrange it so the monster eats her first. In the last one, where apart from the janitor, the only on-screen human we see is a sort of a typical 80s robber baron who I believe is loosely based on Howard Hughes.
I would think so. Played by E.G. Marshall.
Marshall, yes. And he sees humans as other humans as lower life forms.
Yeah.
So what happens? Lower life forms take their revenge. And then, of course, it wraps up with Billy getting his revenge. Age-old story, something I've mentioned before in other horror stories. The real monster isn't the monster. It's the people who try to exploit the situation.
Good point. And I hadn't thought as deeply as you. I just thought this way. Every single story had to do with karma. People got what they deserved, right? There was no one where you felt like, that was unnecessary. Every single one of them, they were getting what they deserved.
The only one that I really, really think should have gotten a hall pass was Geordie. He wasn't greedy. He wasn't evil. He wasn't vengeful. He was just stupid. And his stupidity was his worst enemy. But again, he did have a certain amount of greed. I mean, the first thing he thinks when he sees the meteor is, I will exploit it.
If he had just left it alone, if he had chose not to exploit it, it would have been fine.
So even that one.
Make Halloween fun with one-stop shopping at Woolworth or Woolco for your Halloween needs. Costumes from $1.83 to $3.99, like $6 Million Man, Bionic Woman, superheroes, Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, and a new favorite for girls, Holly Hobby. You can get wrapped candies of every kind, bubblegum, lollipops, fun-sized candy bars. Get this Halloween record, sounds to make you shiver, just $1.89. Make Halloween fun and easy. Make just one stop at Woolworth or Woolco.
Dear Great Pumpkin, I'm looking forward to your arrival on Halloween night.
They're back, all the little Peanuts characters, in a happy Halloween special, filled with ghosties and ghoulies and things that go bump in the night. It's The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, Monday at 8, 7 Central and Mountain.
Guys! gosh, Burger Chef, it's Wolfburger the werewolf.
Where can I get delicious burgers? Where can I get fun food? Where, oh where?
At Burger Chef.
Where?
And now at participating Burger Chefs, you can buy fun meals that now come on Halloween magic meal trays. There's a magic trick in each fun meal. There are 10 different magic meal tricks you can collect.
Burger Chef, you're incredible!
What do you believe the impact of Creepshow was on the horror genre? And if you want to go beyond that to movies at large, feel free, Bob.
I really think it was a game changer. You had before Creepshow and after Creepshow, the zombie renaissance of the 80s, but then just horror comedies. It also gave horror anthologies a much needed shot in the arm. I think the last hurrah was, Trilogy of Terror with Karen Black.
When did that come out? Was that prior?
Yes. I want to say that was like 1980.
That feels about right. 78 to 80, somewhere around there. Love Trilogy of Terror, by the way.
Maybe 79, because again, I saw it around that time. I saw it in middle school. That was like a last hurrah. Most of what you were seeing in horror anthologies were these increasingly low-budget, cheap horror gags coming over from the UK. And this put it back on the map. The comic book renaissance boom. And not just horror comics, action comics, superhero comics, those collectibles that unfortunately turned out to be the comic book industry's undoing, but that's another story. But the boom in comics, which started in the 80s and went into the early 90s, at the very least was helped by Creepshow. It had its own comic book. Right. And people were like, wow, these are cool. And they rediscovered comics as a result. And again, the works of King and Romero, they went from cool guys in the horror industry to household names. Everyone knew who they were after that. It really is a true game changer with American entertainment across the board.
Yeah. The thing that I think about, it transcends the horror genre. It's the whole movie industry. It did give that needed shot in the arm for the anthology motion picture, right? We saw the following year, we saw Twilight Zone, the movie. We saw another one based on, I don't know if it was later in 82 or 83, 84, but after that, we saw another Stephen King anthology movie called Cat's Eye. I don't know if you remember that one.
Yeah, that was a little further than mid-80s, but around that time, yes.
Yeah, around that time. So we saw the anthologies come back, mixed bag of success, but it definitely was because of the success that Creepshow had that these movies were getting greenlit. Greenlighted.
Definitely. Yeah, green-lighted.
Yeah, I think it is green-lighted. I want to say lit, but I think it's lighted. Hey, Bob, while I have you here, you're just rocking it on your YouTube channel as of late. You want to talk a little bit about projects that you have that you're working on?
Yes, please. I'm still doing my Sunday night chats, but I'm mixing it up a bit. Every other Sunday, I work with Sister Sarah from My Flock Is Everywhere and Denny Staten from the Daily Dan blog and any number of other YouTube channels. And the three of us get together and do a little collaboration show. And what we're probably going to be doing is we'll do a collaboration show, and then that'll be like the main course, and I'll come at the end and do a little personal show at the end. And I've had a lot of luck with my creepy classics. That's where I take a very upbeat top 40 song that no one really knows the words to, and I micro review the lyrics and show people just how creepy they are when you actually listen to them.
Search for Thrash Pondo Ponds on YouTube. You're going to find a channel full of videos by this wonderful feller. He is a fountain of knowledge when it comes to all things science fiction, horror, just cult movies and TV shows from the 70s, 80s, and 90s and beyond, I'm sure. But those are the ones I'm most interested in. During the commercials, I played a promo spot for It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. I think we're going to work our way out of here with a little song based on that TV special. Folks, thank you so much for hanging out with us a little bit today. Thanks again, Bob.
You seeing him. Thanks again, Dave.
Sally, would you go with me Let's spend the night together, waiting patiently. I know you don't believe, but I've got enough faith for two. This time it's gonna happen, and then you'll know that it's all true. 'Cause it's gonna be a night to remember. It's one we won't forget. And with you here beside me, it will be the best Halloween yet. Sally, please stay by my side. There's a blanket here to warm you. It's just a matter of time. 'Cause it's gonna be a night to remember. It's one we won't forget. And with you here beside me, it will be the best Halloween yet. So please say yes and make this night feel so right. 'Cause it's gonna be a night to remember. It's one we won't forget. And with you here beside me, it will be the best Halloween yet.
Thank you all for standing by, through and through. It's the kind of strength that lifts the shadows too. And all I gotta say is thank you.
Click on that thumbnail 'cause it's time to go. Dave's got the classics, let the memories flow. TV shows and movies that we all hold so dear. On his YouTube channel he's keeping memories near. Dave Sundstrom, bringing back the good stuff, oh yeah.